Hi there, and welcome to another battle report. This time it's the last game of Defcon 2017, and with a score so far that leaves something to wish for. I had hoped for a matchup that let me have a not so demoralizing end to this event. What I got was the total opposite of that, because I got John and his Ogre Circus. He didn't have the usual Death Star that has wiped the floor with my army so many times. Instead, he had a level 4 Pyromancy Mage, which scared me even more, combined with the rest of his army. I had heard rumors of what he had done to the Dread Elf army I faced in round 3, and he had treated another top player with Dread Elves rather nasty too, so when he realized he faced another elf army, he practically beamed with joy, and when he rolled Scorching Salvo for magic, his smile got even wider. It is almost as I feel that I should apologize, since I started off very sulky and I was totally expecting to be trampled. As soon as we began playing, I think I snapped out of it and decided to do what I could out of it. Both his units and the pyromancy spells have a good range, so it was really hard to find a deploy that could work. As usual, I let my opponent go for first turn. His deploy looked like this, with Yetis furthest to his right, then a gang of Bruiser Clowns. Next is his Mammoth Hunter on Tusker. As you can see, he's the Ringmaster, sporting an awesome top hat, so I decided to call him Lord Tremendously Fancy, and hope John doesn't mind that much. Then we have the King Eater, the Tribesman with characters, Bombardiers, Thunder Cannon, the Rockarok, and a second unit of Yetis. On my side, on the left, out of the picture, is the Ravencloaks, the Acolytes. Next up, Raiders, Corsairs, Dancers with the characters, Crossbows, and out of the picture on the right, the Kraken and 2 Raider units. For scenario, I had hoped for Breakthrough at least, but got these scoring units instead, which might have been the worst possible scenario on my part. With shooting and magic on the left, I hoped to deal with the units there, but I knew I couldn't deal with LT Fancy, so some trouble on that flank. On the right, my plan just was to weather the storm as best as I could and wait to see if some opportunity showed itself. So first turn, and on his right he moves up very aggressively, and the Yetis are almost in my deploy with a Vanguard and a March. On the left he tried a long charge with the other Yetis, which failed. His small Death Star just moved to put his Wizard in range of my stuff. I had deployed good enough for Scorching Salvo not to be worth it, but he still got Enveloping Embers off, killing more than 10 Dancers. The Fireball took some more. He had nothing to shoot at, so it's my turn, and I thought that I might as well put some pressure up instead of slowly frying behind the hill, so the Dancers march up full speed. I sent some Raiders to threaten the flank of his Bombardiers if he decide to shoot the Dancers. The Kraken take up guard position behind the house. I move the Corsairs up to avoid a Yeti charge. A bit unnecessary perhaps, since I get a Grave Call spell off on them, killing both. The Cloaks try to keep as far away as possible from the Bruisers, but they are still too close for my taste. About an 18 charge and they are in. So in his turn he tries to charge them, but they fall short thankfully. The Keen Eater don't and crash into the Corsairs, taking a wound from stand and shoot. Since I'd rather have the Keen Eater there than risk being locked up in combat with the dancers, I choose to hold. LT Fancy sees trouble brewing on his left and move that way, leaving the bruisers to deal with my left flank on their own. Being somewhat worried by my quick march, he decides to send the tribesmen up as a huge roadblock while the characters move back. On the right, the Rock failed Frenzy, which is great, and more importantly, he also failed to roll boxcars, so that's all good. The Bombardiers decide to prioritize the Raiders and blast them clean off. The Corsairs take a beating, but they stick. I don't think he got that much magic off this turn actually, so I got a break for the moment at least. For my turn, I first off charge the tribesmen, who flee through the impasse, losing about half the unit, which is a bit lucky. I can't make it to the Bombardiers with my redirect, but that was to be expected. The Kraken had a nice flank on the Rock, and I want to get a better chance than that, so I charge it in and hope for the best. With only bruisers left on my left, it feels manageable, so I start to whittle. I send the next raiders up to threaten the Bombardiers' flank if they decide to shoot the dancers. Magic and shooting kills 3 bruisers, and in combat the Corsairs break with only 2 left. He pursues, but regret his choice rather quickly, since my Corsairs will have a very hard time rallying. The Corsairs get away from his pursuit on top of that. The Kraken gets 3 wounds in, but with the stone skeleton thing rule, it only results in 3 wounds. The Orok does 2 back, but he breaks quite easy and get run down by the Kraken. So that's all good. The Yetis panic, so I actually start to think I can get some points out of this in the end. But there is a long way yet. The Corsairs breaking also panicked a unit of Acolytes, by the way, which was a bit noobish of me. His turn 3 and his bruisers fail another charge, and all fleeing units of his rally. His Keen Eater moves up among my units next to the dancers. LT Fancy starts to aim for the crossbows, which he sees as a suitable target, as he still needs to kill my scoring stuff. The Bombardiers turned and back up. For magic he got both Enveloping Embers and Scorching Salve off, I think. And with that and shooting, I'm left without a Kraken, 3 Raiders on the right and about 7 dancers. The body count goes quickly down. My dancers can't take any more punishment, I think, but they still need to deliver the characters into the Bombardiers if I am to have any chance of getting away decently in this game. To make that happen, I'm counting on math to come through and leave me 1 raider as I charge the 3 that are left on the right into the flank of the Bombardiers, and I also make the roll, so they are in. On the left I rallied the Acolytes, blown some away with a miscost, but the bruisers are now in a manageable size, and in combat his Bombardiers flub, but they at least stick, and that is as well as I could hope for, really, since that means he can't shoot me in his next turn. I've also run the crossbows as far away as possible. That wasn't enough though, since in his turn 4 he made a long charge into the crossbows with LT Fancy. The rest of his stuff surround the dancers. For magic he got Cascading Fire off, killing a dancer with the attribute, I think. In combat the raiders died this turn. On the left I have shafted him with a 3rd raider unit, which he also killed in combat. For my turn the BSB goes in alone, while the prince and the last dancers goes to face the units on the left of them. On the left flank I kill some bruisers and they panic. In combat I kill his wizard in a challenge, but the bombardiers stick. He tries to charge all his stuff in, but LT Fancy and the Yetis fail. The bruisers stay on the board, and in combat I think I get a bit lucky that he challenged with a champ instead of the Khan, since one impact is way less scary than D3. The prince have also taken a wound from magic earlier, so the odds had been a bit scary if he had chosen the Khan to challenge with instead. He killed all the dancers, but I butcher his champ with max overkill. I still think I lost, but I actually made a test, and the bombardiers lose again, but they still stick. It's my turn 5 and I finish his bruisers off. In combat it's the Khan's turn to get beheaded in a challenge. The tribesmen break, run through the impasse again, and are faced with Raven Cloaks and the Acolytes for the next turn. It's his last turn, and this time LT Fancy and the Yetis make it in. I think there was a challenge, but I'm not sure. The BSB lost by a little, while the prince go ahead to chop up the Kin Eater with its pretty skirt and all. With that head added to the trophies, the prince is able to charge the bombardiers. Out of the picture, the last tribesman is pin-cushioned. In combat, the prince continued to be awesome, so I win big and everything break, and I make sure to get the bombardiers. With that, the scenario is tied, and I'm extremely satisfied with the turnout of this bloodbath. And seeing Lord Tremendously Fancy taking his hat and run feels especially good. I won 14-6, which is 14 points more than I had expected going into this game. Well, for this last game, things just fell into place, and the timing of things couldn't been better. Overall, I had both good and bad luck with the dice, but the timing of the good rolls had more impact, I should say. Well, the dice aside, I think I once again played a really good game and got more for the effort than what was to be expected. 52 points in the end, and I just passed the score for not being ashamed of the result. I missed top 10 by 5 points though. I've had a way better end result on tournaments and even placed top 3 a couple of times, but I think I've never played 5 better games in a row. Some minor things of course, but other than that, the only mistake I can think of was perhaps the initial strategy of the vampire game, even though there were no obvious bad play after that. So overall I'm very satisfied. One thing that needs another tweak is the list. That is a bit harder since everything has been key in one game or another. There won't be any big changes, but some small ones. We'll see. I really like the dancers, and I think their move comes as a bit of a shock to many people, which I like, so they will stay for some more games at least. Well, I hope you enjoyed these reports, and my goal until next tournament is to try as many different armies as my models and my time will allow. So see you again soon.